Hello and welcome. I'm so pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. Today, we're going to dive into a really critical topic for any future leader in the hospitality industry, mastering the art of the hotel exit. For many owners, this is the ultimate goal, that one moment that defines years of work. And today, we're going to break down exactly how it's done step by step.
Right. So when you're talking about the highest levels of hotel ownership, pretty much everything you do builds towards this one pivotal moment. It's not just about running a great hotel day to day, it's about strategically building the value of that asset. And as you can see here, the ultimate goal, the end game, is the exit, selling it for a profit. For an owner, this is really the defining moment of success.
Now, the official industry term for this whole process is disposition. And let me tell you, it is so much more than just putting a for sale sign out front. Disposition is this incredibly strategic, really complex, and very high-stakes process. If you get it right, you can add millions to your final price. But if you get it wrong, well, you could see years of hard work start to unravel. So, how do you make sure you get it right? Well, here's the key. A successful exit is never a last-minute thing. It's the result of a long-term strategy, and it begins way earlier than most people think. Let's take a look at the actual timeline. Okay, check this out. The real work actually starts a full year and a half before the hotel even thinks about hitting the market. At 18 months out, you're in strategic prep mode. Then, at the 1-year mark, you kick off this really intensive cleanup phase. By 6 months, you're in the home stretch, just finalizing everything before you go live. Trust me, this long runway is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to get top dollar. So, what is this cleanup process I'm talking about? Well, it really boils down to 3 absolutely critical areas. First up, you've got to perfect the financial records. I mean, every P&L, every balance sheet, it all has to be flawless. Second, you organize all your logs. A potential buyer is going to want to see a full history of every repair and all the maintenance. And finally, you resolve every single compliance issue. Any lingering legal stuff has to be completely cleared. The whole point is to present an asset that has 0 question marks attached to it. All right, so once all that prep work is done and the hotel is officially on the market, you enter what is easily the most intense phase of the entire sale. This is where all that hard preparation gets put to the ultimate test.
And this phase has a name: due diligence. The potential buyer, they're not just going to take your word for it. They're going to bring in a whole team of experts, accountants, engineers, lawyers, and they will scrutinize every single detail of the hotel. I mean, they'll pore over every document and inspect every corner of the property. This is where deals are made, and yep, this is where they fall apart.
The central hub for all this intense scrutiny is something called the Virtual Data Room, or VDR. The best way to think of it is as the hotel's entire operational playbook, just digitized and organized in one super secure online place. We're talking every contract, every financial statement, every single permit, it all lives right here. The quality, and more importantly, the organization of this VDR is, well, it's everything. The state of that VDR can lead to 2 completely different outcomes. A clean, perfectly organized VDR, what does that tell a buyer? It signals professional, competent management. It builds huge confidence and keeps the whole deal moving along smoothly. But a messy, incomplete VDR, it does the exact opposite. It immediately raises red flags, creates suspicion, and it often leads to something we call a price chip. That's where the buyer demands a last-minute price cut because of all the uncertainty. A sloppy VDR can literally cost an owner millions.
But look, the sale isn't just about documents in a data room. A buyer is also purchasing a living, breathing, operating business. And how that business actually presents itself when they visit is every single bit as important as the paperwork.
And that brings us to what you could call the soft side of the sale. The curb appeal has to be absolutely perfect. I mean, that first impression is everything. But it goes so much deeper than that. High staff morale, a motivated professional team, is one of the most powerful signals of a healthy operation you can send. The buyer's entire on-site experience, from the moment they check in to the moment they check out, has to be completely flawless. They need to see their potential investment running like a dream. So, let's recap. We've talked about the meticulous documentation and the perfect physical presentation. Now let's bring it all together and see how all these efforts actually lead to the ultimate payoff.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to a pretty simple formula. Meticulous, long-term preparation of all the data, combined with the perfect, flawless presentation of the physical asset itself. When you can execute on both of those fronts, you completely remove any doubt, you build incredible confidence, and you put the seller in the strongest possible position to achieve maximum value.
And that, right there, is the key takeaway for all of you. A profitable hotel exit is never, ever an accident. It is the result of a deliberate, disciplined, and long-term process. So as you move forward in your careers, I want you to think about this. Where are you going to focus? Will you be the one who masters the intricate financial details, or the operational presentation, or maybe that high-level strategic oversight that brings it all together? Honestly, mastering any one of these can define a truly successful career in this industry.